Today we are going to be making a delicious Peruvian chicken stew. It is called Seco De Pollo, and these are the vegetables we're going to be using for our seco today. We have onions, potatoes, carrots, and garlic. I'm going to go ahead and grate my garlic so it looks like that. About 2 cloves, 2 large cloves. I like to grate mine. I don't like to bite into any big chunks of garlic in my seco. Now we're moving on to the onion. This is 1 medium-sized white onion. I went ahead and cut it in half, took the skin off, and now I'm going to be cutting it from end to end. We want to cut it this way in about 1/4 of an inch pieces so we get nice half-moon shapes. Just like that. Go ahead and set those aside. We're going to use those a little later. Now moving on to the carrot. I cut these carrots on a bias. They should look like that. I like to cut them this way, not just because it looks pretty, but I feel like I get a little bit more carrot out of my carrot, if that makes sense, when I cut them this way. Now onto the potato. This is a russet potato. Russet potatoes are nice and starchy. It's really going to help us to get a nice, thick, rich sauce. Go ahead and cut those in large cubes. You want to keep them relatively the same size as the carrot, so they cook evenly and about the same time. I put these in some water so they didn't turn brown. Cilantro is going to be our star ingredient today. I like to buy them in these bunches. I've washed them very well. Now I like to buy them in these bunches so that I can go ahead and just cut the leafy part off, discard the stems. Now I'm going to be putting about 3 tablespoons of olive oil into a nice large stock pot. We're going to heat this up, and while that's heating, I'm going to go ahead and season our chicken breasts. These are bone-in, skin-on chicken breasts, and I'm just going to season the skin side well with some sea salt and fresh cracked pepper. Now once those are nicely seasoned, we're going to go ahead and add those skin side down. You want your oil to be nice and hot. We want to get a nice brown crust in our chicken. Usually takes about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, depending on how hot your pan is. Now once those are nice and golden brown, we're going to go ahead and flip those over and start to cook the other side. Probably another 5 minutes. We want to remove our chicken breasts. Now these are not cooked all the way through. We just wanted to get a nice brown sear on them. And go ahead and lower the heat just a little bit. We're going to add our onions. We don't want to burn them. Now here we're just looking to get a nice translucent onion. We want to sweat them. So we're going to add some salt that helps draw out some of the liquids and make sure they don't brown. We're also adding some pepper, just a pinch. Go ahead and stir that so they get nicely covered with the salt and pepper. Now we're going to go ahead and add in our garlic. The onion's going to make sure that the garlic doesn't burn. Go ahead and stir that up. Now we're going to be adding a nice, beautiful heaping tablespoon of ají amarillo paste, a staple in any Peruvian dish. Go ahead and stir that around. Now we're going to be adding oregano, Peruvian paprika, and cumin, about a tablespoon of each. We want to go ahead and add those into the hot oil. We want to bloom those. Kind of gives them a nutty flavor. Go ahead and stir those into that oil and onions. Now add in your carrots, stir around, and the potatoes. Get those nicely covered in the spice mixture. The rest of the salt and pepper, about another pinch of each. Go ahead and add those fresh bunches of cilantro straight into a blender. I'm going to add about a cup of low sodium chicken broth and about 1/2 cup of just some plain old water. And blend. You should get a nice, beautiful, pretty thin green liquid out of this. And it should smell incredible. Now that that's nicely blended, we're going to go ahead and add that into our vegetables. We're going to turn up the heat to high. We want this to be boiling in no time. And stir to combine. Now once that's come to a boil, we're gonna add our chicken back in. And make sure to add in any of those chicken juices. That's all great flavor. We want that in there. Press them down. These should not be submerged completely. We don't want to boil them. We're just looking to braise. I'm gonna get some of that yummy spice mixture and broth on top of the chicken and cover. It's been an hour. The sauce is darkened. The chicken's getting soft. It smells amazing. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and add in some frozen peas, just regular frozen peas. I'm gonna add about a cup. I'm just gonna go ahead and eyeball it. Just dump those in. Go ahead and give that a stir. Make sure they're nicely submerged in the liquid. I'm gonna go ahead and recover. We're gonna cook this for about another 45 minutes on medium-low. It's looking beautiful. Again, reduced. Chicken is falling off the bone. We're gonna go ahead and remove the chicken. At this point, we wanna go ahead and take off the skin. We wanna remove any bones. This should be extremely easy, just falling off the bone. Now, I don't like a fine shred on my chicken. I wanna kinda leave it in big chunks, just kinda pull it apart. Again, it should be super easy, falling apart. And we're just gonna repeat with the second chicken breast. Go ahead and add that back into the pan and mix. Beautiful. Gonna raise the heat. Seco is looking beautiful. I like to plate with some bread slices, French bread slices. I like to use it to sop up those yummy juices. And I've also plated with some Peruvian garlic white rice. You have to have white rice with Seco. Now on to the true test, the Peruvian boyfriend test. Does he like it? He likes it. Another victory.
It's really good.
Now the best part is to share it with your friends and family and your cats, if you have any.
No.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something and enjoy.